Can you hear me? Maybe there's audio now. I just reset my mic. Okay. Yeah, maybe it was something with loading this data, or I don't know what happened. But it just, I had a brief panic attack. It just crashed everything, or just crashed Streamlabs for a second. And now it's up again, but the model training is just still miserably slow. So let's try that again. Let's just go ahead and restart this, and we're gonna try to do this arrow stream dataset thing. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't too fun, I'll tell you that. So this make remote dataset, given an endpoint. What is endpoint though? Arrow stream, you can give it like a like an actual endpoint, like a URL. Okay, I don't think we need to go to all of that difficulty. Let's just change our batch size back. Let's even try changing it lower. Like maybe if we change it to like 1,000 or something. We just need something where it's not incredibly stuttered by how slow it is to read files. And once we get that, then we'll just save the model, and then in the last half of the stream, which we basically hit the halfway mark, we'll be working on using the model to then play Pokemon, which is not too difficult. We just have to create a player that loads the model, and then we copy paste a lot of the same observation code, except now it's way faster because it's just doing one observation. And then it runs the model on that one observation to plus each of the 9 choices it could potentially have to decide what to do. Yeah, we can see when the GPU finally gets the chance to work on it, it goes by really fast. So it's just a matter of optimizing it to get it working better. Oh well, so the model, it's like working better on smaller batch sizes, it seems. We can also explore changing the file size of the feather data frame, but one thing that we could do, even if this is just painfully slow, is that we actually could just load in a lot of the feather data frames into memory and train it off of that. We wouldn't be able to do it for all of them, and long term, we certainly couldn't do it for the whole data set. We'd have to do something like this. But if we just want something quick on a smaller amount of data anyways, which is what we're doing here, then that might be a completely viable option. It would be best if we could just get it working, though, but or not working, but working smoothly. For example, from like a optimization point of view, what we could do is, right now, let's get, or I'm just gonna create a new whiteboard. Basically, our approach right now, we're using this kind of built-in file reader that's just reading a bunch of files, but all those files are really large, and it seems like it's just inefficient. So what we could do is, we could create a list of the files. Then what we could do is we could create a, as part of our pipeline, we could batch this list of files into something like 4 files at once. Get batched. Then each of these files gets fed into a, the memory, inside memory database. And then we take one file and we split it into batches. So we batch again, this time on like 1,000 rows or 2,000 rows or something. Alternatively, we could concat first. I think, yeah, concating first makes sense. So turning this all into one big data set. And then batch into mini batches. So this would be like a combined. And this would be your final batch that then is fed into the rest of the pipeline. Like your dataset cleaning and eventually to your GPU. I think this would be faster because this part in the background would be loading things into memory and everything else is very fast. So this might be an optimization. I don't know. This would still be our bottleneck, but maybe reading enough into memory at once would be a good thing. Because as of right now, it's just kind of annoyingly slow. It's not terrible, but it's just not. It's not nearly as good as it could be. And it's not our GPU's fault. It's the loading data. Oh, and then of course moving the files from the slow hard drive to an NVMe storage drive would definitely help as well. But while this is running, let's go ahead and work on our other thing, which is not going to be the random logger, but it's going to be our actual AI player. So let's create a new file. This is going to be, I guess, maybe simulator v1. This is a model this is a player that is just using the model that was trained from the simulator. So it's not going to be doing the extra training of the reinforcement learning. That part we'll probably do next time. But this will be using the pre-trained model that we're training right now to play Pokemon. So let's copy all the stuff that we did from random logger, because we're gonna need that. And let's put it in simulator. And then if we just check, yeah, oh yeah, this is just still giving us more and more files as it runs. It still takes its own time, but let's close out of most of that. If we look here, yeah, it's still just training. The validation loss is still decreasing, but you can see that the training loss is smaller than the validation loss. So we'll keep an eye on it and make sure that it's not too different. Okay, so this is our simulator. What we need to do is we're gonna say something just like simulator v1 player. Embed battle is actually going to be the same function that we wrote before. No changes necessary, because this is just going to return this list of numbers and strings and other things, which is great. So the embed battle function works exactly like how we need to do it. On the other hand, now what we need to do is we need to turn this battle embedding into the battle vector. Self.vectorize battle, which is going to take the battle embedding and then we need to say something like for move in oh yeah, see you next Tuesday. We'll be hopefully doing the reinforcement learning style battles, which will also involve actively battling against it. This today will hopefully be the last kind of just only doing code today, and once we're doing the reinforcement learning, it'll be a lot more active about like getting to play it and improve it that way. So we need to say for move in battle.available moves, this is where we're going to add on the choice for that move onto the battle vector. So we're going to say battle vector, or we'll say something like choice vector is equal to self dot I don't know, maybe like vectorize choice, and it's going to take in the battle vector and the move. Choice vectors to a list, and then choice vectors dot append choice vector. Then for switch in battle.available switches, we're going to do very similar. Right, and Jamie, welcome back. We're almost there. We've got a model training in the background. It's taking slow just because of some inefficient bottleneck stuff. And now we're just writing the last bit of code that's going to use that trained model to decide what to do. And then once that's the case, we'll just save the model, get this running, and we'll play against it, because it'll be perfectly playable. We'll do vectorize move, or not vectorize move, but vectorize, yeah, I guess this one should be vectorize move, and this one should be vectorize switch. And then the last thing that we need to do is we need to say that let's say choices to that. We'll say choices.append move, and choices.append switch. Choice scores is equal to self.score choices, where we're going to pass in these choice vectors. This is going to be what runs the model on each choice. And then the move order is going to finally be self dot I think it's like create battle order. Let me check. Create order. Self dot create order argmax. I guess let's do np.argmax. Oh, I don't need. Yeah, I do need argmax. Choices at np.argmax choice scores. And then we will return move order. So we need to create these these four functions: score choices, vectorize switch, vectorize move, and vectorize battle. Other than that, this is the framework for what we need to do. I guess what we can do is just yeah, that's all we need to do. Let's create those other functions though. And I think a fourth function that we really should also do is another init function, because we want to load the model only once whenever the player is first created, not every single time it's trying to choose a move, because that would be very slow. So let's go to look at the source code. I guess we didn't have to look at the source code. We could have just looked at all the things that are in it. But this is going to extend from player. So these are all the things that we need, because we need to be able to expand on it. Okay, so it does need a model path, which is a string. And what it's going to do is it's going to do super.init. I can just copy paste it from super player. That's what they do here. I accidentally just opened up Steam. Super player self.init, and then we need to pass in all of these variables. Player configuration, and then avatar equals avatar, battle format equals battle format, etc. All right, so it's going to initialize itself, and then it's going to say self.model is equal to load model path. So that's what it'll do. We also need to actually give label encoders. Label encoder P is also going to be a string. So we need to do from TensorFlow.keras.models import load model, and we need to do import pickle, so that here we can do self.label encoders is equal to pickle.load open label encoder path. Thanks. For the music, I have this subscription service called like Pretzel that is all copyright friendly music as long as you're paying for Pretzel. So that's how most stuff is played through. That way it's just never going to be a headache of mine was a VOD taken down or given a copyright claim because of music that was playing in the background. It's probably not a big worry for somebody who has 6 viewers right now. But you know, it's just, it means that I don't have to have that kind of anxiety in the background. Okay, so now we are loading the model as long as we give a model path, and we're loading the label encoders as long as we give a path. Those two are important. The model is obviously the model. It's what does the predictions, but the label encoders helps us in encoding the battle as a vector, because it's what tells us which species gets which number and things like that for the vector. I was not aware of that. So let's do these different functions. So vectorize battle, self battle. This is going to be a big old function, but luckily a lot of it we can kind of just copy paste, so it's not terrible. So what we need to do, oh, this is not the right piece of code. Okay, so we can see the validation loss is hovering around 1. And the training loss is getting a little bit better, but really this is just something that we would want to optimize our training process and just train this on tons of data so it can just get better and better. What 1 in this case means is that since it's a little bit over 1, it means that basically on average we are 1 standard deviation away from the real answer. And since the mean is at 0, that could actually be pretty bad on average. We don't know. Yeah, this is all Python. Technically, TensorFlow in the backend, which is what these machine learning models are being trained in, is written in C for speed, but the interface to work with it is all in Python. So everything that we're doing is in Python. It just makes things so much less of a headache. Okay, so vectorize battle. We can, not this function, but if we load up this file, which is still just creating these feather files in the back end, you can see we're up to 14 now. So overnight and over the weekend, it'll just keep chugging, creating more of these files for us to train models on. Hopefully then we can optimize the loop as well. So one option I have, although it might be kind of a dumb option, like meaning it might not be efficient, is I actually could just turn it into a string and run this whole process on it. This process was designed for a lot of rows at once, so you know we might not want to, and it was also designed with the adding the choice in there. It might be faster or like more efficient for us to like rewrite it, but I'm thinking for maybe just a this kind of proof of concept of doing this, we maybe don't need to do that. That can just be an optimization that we do next time. So let's open up utils.py, and like it might not even be necessary at all. I'm just going to copy all of these functions here, including all these imports. So that if I want to just run these functions, given some data, that's an option. Worst case, we could just copy paste one of these and trim it down ourselves. Read relevant lines, clean weather. Because this code over here is meant for dealing with a large amount of data. So it's written to use pandas, not like normal functions that would be dealing with just one line at a time. So it's probably introducing a lot of overhead. But unless we're really trying to optimize it for like a huge amount of speed, that might not be a it might not be a limiting factor, really. Yeah, see, like, the one thing that we won't need is we won't need this, like, battle ID and perspective and turn number. And really, this stuff as well. You know what? Maybe I will do it this way, because I'm still passing in 9 at once. So it's not like a stupid idea. And we just need observation df. And it's not going to have game score. Okay, I think this makes sense. I think doing this makes sense. So the last thing we need to do is we need to copy paste this process batch. Lots of trial and error and struggling. So I've went to school for like applied math, and some of those types of courses involve computer science, but not a lot, to be honest. So I mostly just did like whatever for relevant classes, and I taught myself a lot of like Python. Like my first language was actually like C#, not even Python. But there's a lot of resources out there on the internet. Specifically, one really good one is Coursera courses. You could take a lot of them for free. You can audit them. So as a broke college student, that's what I was doing. In my free time outside of normal classes, I was just taking a lot of free online courses about like machine learning and Python and data science. And it's worked out for me. So this will give us a list of label encoders. We don't need the batch num, but what we do need is we need to already give lines, which is going to be a list of string. And we need to edit read relevant lines to just take in the lines already. And verbose is going to be equal to false. Okay, so it's doing all this stuff. And then we don't need anything that comes after. Except we need to make sure that everything is sorted. Observation df equals that. Yep. And we also need to fill an A, just in case. It shouldn't have NA columns. I don't know why it does. Don't need to do that. We definitely do need to change the data type because clearly that was an issue. We don't need to return it, or we don't need to save it, but we do need to return it. So awesome, that will give us exactly the format that we need. And the only thing is that we need to pass in the lines, which are the kind of things that we would normally save to a log. We just need to pass all of the ones that we would save to this function. And then if we check read relevant lines, here this needs to just take lines and it's not going to be verbose because we're not going to print it. But we're just going to say something like for line in lines, data.append process raw line, just like that. And that will do everything else for us. So now we've gone from, instead of reading it from a file, it's going to be doing all of this other stuff. And return to us the observation df. So then we don't actually need this vectorized battle or really anything nearly as complicated as all this other stuff we've done. Instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to, if we check out embed battle, actually, oop, it's not returning anything. Oh wait, yeah it is. I just couldn't see it because I'm so zoomed in. It returns this full embedding thing. We need the moves as well, which if we see in choose move, it just adds on as a list the random move. So that's what we can do, is copy this whole thing, go back here, and now what we're going to do is oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm just going to do full screen because the model's training in the background. We know that. It's finishing up. The validation loss came down a little bit, but it definitely just needs a... Oh yeah, also we gave it a ridiculously small model. This is just like 64 neurons. So we need to give it something much bigger and much more data. But for now, technically, we can get the rest of our framework working in the meantime. So let's keep going. What we need to do is move, change this, and it's going to be instead battle line is equal to this. String data for data in full embedding plus string move, or string self.create order move. And then we'll say battle lines. What was that? Battle lines equals, or battle lines dot append battle line. Now we have way less work to do. Because we have the battle embedding, which is this. And rather than the choice vectors, we'll say battle lines. Happened again. Wow. Like the model finished training, so it's not even running in the background anymore. And the Pokemon simulation also finished a while ago, so I don't even know what's causing it. But it's real annoying. All right, it's back to normal, but I don't get it. All right, because we weren't even really running anything. The model finished. Let's see. Okay, so now we've got a list of all of these battle lines. So what we can do is we can say observation df is equal to we can say from utils, from dot utils import, we need just the name of this last function, process batch. Which we're going to use by giving it the lines, or battle lines, which is our batch that it needs to do. And then we're going to give it self.label encoders. And then we'll just say this already does any sort of normalization and splitting of all of that. We'll just be able to say self.model.predict observation df.values. Just like that. So that's our player. It was simplified. We didn't need any of those extra functions because we just used the code we already wrote. It's probably not the most efficient code in the world, but hey, it does something. And if something new is seen in one of these battles compared to the label encoders, it will fail. But, so it's not the most steady. We haven't done any sort of exception handling and error processing. But at least it is something that should technically work. So let's test it, I guess. Not sure if the game, like, we'll have to play around with it to get it working. But let's open up the code that we just trained a model on. Since this model is very tiny and just trained on a somewhat limited amount of data, it's probably not going to be very good. So no promises, anybody. But let's go ahead and save the model. Okay, if we go here, we can see that we've got this test model.h5 file. So now with the test model, let's wait on a moment, just checking some stuff, making sure I'm still actually live. It'd be not great if I weren't. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this test model file out here because we're gonna use one of the test scripts to test it. So now that this is run, I'm gonna restart this so it's no longer in memory and it can't hurt me anymore. Leave the page. Now at least that GPU memory is freed up. So if that was causing part of the problem, it's fixed now. And let's write test code. So if we go to test.py, what we want to do is write a, we have to write a script that does. Okay, let's do single battle test. That's fine with me. Or actually, we should probably create a new one. Let's do test, or let's do interactive mode.py. We're going to copy all these imports. We're then going to also go from player AI, import simulator v1 player. So from simulator v1 import simulator v1 player, and then in interactive mode we need to import simulator v1 player. Let's copy all these. Copy this as well, and it's going to be interactive battle, Gen 5 random battle. We don't need any of the team stuff. But now we're just going to create a player. So it's going to be player is going to be equal to a simulator v1 player with that server config. Yeah, for this first time, I'm just going to do it on the local host. Once we get it working, even if it's terrible, then I'll change the server configuration to be Real Pokemon Showdown, and we'll play on Real Pokemon Showdown. Okay, so server configuration equals server config, max concurrent battles just 1. And then we need to get it to play, I guess the ladder would be a good idea. That would kind of make sense. We could just do await player.ladder. it'll just do one ladder match for now, and then later we can have it challenge specific people. Because I think in order to send a challenge, you need to have a registered account. So we'll need to create a registered account for our AI player. So it's just going to do, for now while we're testing it, just do a ladder match. And I think that's all we need. Great. Except, actually, right, we need to be able to pass in what model to use and our label encoders. Otherwise, that kind of defeats the point, because we wouldn't have passed it the model. So we'll say model path is equal to, or I guess we should specify model path here. Model path and label encoder path. So then we can just give model path and label encoder path. Okay, now let's drag this over and go back to test over here. So we're just going to run until complete Nuzlocke AI dot interactive battle, but we're going to give it where is it? Didn't I drag it up to this folder? Oh, it needs to be out here. What just happened to the file? Okay, test model.h5. There it is. So we'll give it test model.h5. And then similarly from notebooks, I want to, just to be safe, I'm just going to copy this label encoders.p. I'm going to copy it out here. So label encoders.p. Alright, so I fully expect this to fail a couple of times while we're running it, because you know that's how these things start, is with just some kind of various failure. So let's get this started. Right now, nothing else should be running. The simulation isn't running or anything. Test.py started. Oh, Nuzlocke AI has no attribute interactive battle. Okay. I probably just didn't add it to the init. Yep. From dot scripts. Oh, I need to say from dot interactive mode import interactive battle. And then here I need to also import interactive battle. So what we're going to do is inside interactive battle, we're going to say print waiting for ladder match. Once we know that it's been initialized and it's waiting for the ladder match, it'll print that. Oh, I have a syntax error. In utils, I guess. Or no, it's in player AI. Simulator view 1. Line 173. Unmatched parenthesis. So it's joining this list plus this list I have an extra parenthesis. List is not defined in utils. Optional is not defined. Okay. Oh, I need to get all this stuff over into Simulator V1. All the type hinting stuff. That's gonna be not a thing. I guess I'm just gonna get rid of all the type hinting. We don't need type hinting. Okay, there we go. All the type hinting is gone, and that should prevent any more of those kinds of errors. Init got an unexpected keyword argument battle format. What do you mean? Oh. Because I need to do super of this class, not super of player. Okay, it's waiting for the ladder match. Let's go to Pokemon Showdown. Now, it might still error out once it tries to do something. But right now, it's waiting for Gen 5 random battles. Okay, so this is a real battle against the AI. It's got a Corsola. I'm going to switch to Cradily. We probably should have had it logged what it's doing, so that way we can decipher if it's just slow or if it's taking a long time. Because I think it might be failed somewhere. Yeah, let's add logging. I'll leave it running, but I bet it's just stuck somewhere. Okay, so let's do print embedding battle. Print constructing each battle option into list. Print creating observation data frame from battle lines. Why do I keep saying def? Print scoring each option using model. Print creating order. Print decided to submit move order which had predicted score max of choice scores. Okay, added a whole lot of logging. I bet something's slow inside of process batch. So let's go to utils. Process batch. We can give it verbose equals true. Okay, so we've added a whole lot of logging. Let's try that again. Okay, we got into the battle. It's constructing each battle option into a list. How is that taking a long time? Okay, so it's getting stuck somewhere not even touching our actually complicated code. It's getting stuck just in creating this list. Like, I'm trying to see if maybe we did something circular, maybe? I'm not seeing it. If we did do something circular. Let's see where it's getting stuck. Once again, I have to be the one to forfeit. I hope I don't get, like, banned or something from my own local server for forfeiting over and over again. Because they might have some sort of automated thing. Okay, so each of the available moves works just fine, but the switches is not working. So what it's doing, let me show on screen. What it's doing is it's going through and printing out each move just fine. But once it gets to available switches, it stops working. So let's check available switches to make sure that it's something that we, think makes sense. Battle available switches. Just return self.available switches. I don't know why it's not doing anything. Does it think it can't switch for some reason? Because it should be able to switch, no problem. Oh! I misspelled it. Would that really break it? Would it really just sit here and not do anything because I misspelled it? That seems really odd to me. That it would just sit there and not do anything if there's an error. Okay, it's stuck at one hot encoding weather, but that's progress. It might be a error because we know now that the errors seem to be whatever. One hot encoding. What did it print? And it's not just taking. Oh. That's the wrong file. It's not just that it's taking a while, it's like just taking forever, because it probably has failed. Data equals 2 categorical. DF11. Got 2 categorical imported. Everything else seemed to run just fine. Let's see. Let's since it's getting to this point, let's do something like print DF weather. Let's see if there's something obvious like it's empty or something and that's causing it to break. Okay, no, it's just fine. Maybe it needs a max classes. Just like some of the other ones do. Num classes. That could be it. It's like maybe if it's just all ones, 2 categorical isn't understanding what's going on. Yep, okay, so that time it decided the order. So if we move... Okay, creating order. I think it... Oh, we were so close. Creating order then caused an error. So let's... We're so close. It got to where it printed creating order. So this just failed. So let's go ahead and print results of model scoring. Print choice scores. Print numpy.argmax scores. Print maximum index. So close. And it's going pretty fast, actually. That's nice. Like, it loaded what its first move was going to be before the battle even rendered on my screen. So, one more battle. Let's see. NumPy.argmax doesn't work if the shape is weird. Let's try that, just pulling out the first item. Okay, that didn't do it. Maybe convert it to just a list. Okay, let's try it one more time. Forfeit, watch battle, oh, not watch battle. No longer a spectator. I'm actively battling. Oh, NumPy is not defined. Ugh, obvious. Obvious. I just needed to import NumPy. It's actually going pretty well. We're getting to the point where we have trained a very bad initial model, but now we're gonna try out playing against it and seeing if it works. So I can get rid of this verbose equals true, make it verbose equals false. Okay. Forfeit and start again. Okay, so it's trying to do nasty plot, and it predicted it had a slightly bad score, but everything had a slightly bad score. So this is because the model isn't doing all that well, but it's gonna choose nasty plot. So while he's using nasty plot, because I'm kind of cheating and seeing that, it's just deciding to use nasty plot again, which gets punished. And it's just again gonna use nasty plot. So we need to train the model on more battles, and we need to train it for longer. Oh, waiting for opponent. Oh, running into issues again. This time there's an issue when it's creating it from just these 5. We need to find out where the issue is happening. So we knocked out an opponent, and then now it's breaking again, so we need to make it verbose again. We're getting there. It's not very good, but at least it's functional, and it's using the model and making decisions off of the results of the model. So that means if we just make the model better, it'll make better decisions. Yeah, all of the scores are negative for some reason, but it did choose the least negative, which it thought was Seed Bomb. Yeah, it definitely needs to train more. What is this -1? I guess we should have it print out each thing. So right now what we're doing is that it's predicting basically the result of the battle based on it using this move. But it's not just like a win or loss, it's a score of how well it did in the battle. But the model was just trained for a couple of epochs, and it's a very tiny model, so it's not very good. So we need to train it for longer with a bigger model on more data. It was mostly just about getting something working. Yeah, it's just predicting the same move over and over again. But on the bright side, it's making decisions very fast. One hot encoding the selected switch of this turn. That's where it's failing. So we know now that it fails at a certain point whenever it is, whenever it faints and it's trying to do that. So now we need to figure out why is it failing at a faint. And it's there's a couple. It's showing a bunch of different options, like choose switch. It shows choose switch Altaria, choose switch Dugtrio, choose switch Magnezone, Volbeat, and Heracross, which are 5 switches. So let's just go to where it says one hot encoded the selected switch. So negative means it thinks it's a bad move. Positive means it thinks it's a good move. So right now it's just thinking everything is bad, and it might just be because of lack of training, or it could be that it thinks based off of the opponent Pokemon and its current value that everything is bad. It's just trying to minimize how bad the situation is. In reality, it should be able to switch. Like if we saw its Pokemon and it saw that I had that out, I guess there aren't really any good switches. I mean, maybe Altaria would be a good switch. But actually, yeah, even switching was a bad idea. I guess Cradily should have used some sort of rock type move though. Yeah, Cradily should have seen Rock Slide would be better. But the model hasn't trained for that long, so it's a little bit excusable. We're mostly just trying to get it working right now. Okay, so it fails somewhere in between here. So let's do another try except. Unfortunately, it seems to be hiding errors, and it just doesn't do anything. But now it'll at least print the error message. Okay, so we already know that it's decided it's going to use Surf, and out of its available moves, if we scroll up, we see that Love Disc had Sweet Kiss, Surf, Toxic, and Protect. And its other Pokemon were Dugtrio, Rhyperior, Pinsir, Liepard, and Palkia. So maybe staying in and using Surf was a good idea. Like, it's not a bad idea. Since I know it's going to use Surf, I'll switch to my tank. Because I know it can't do anything. Okay, let's knock out this opponent. It's still just using Surf. It seems like right now, since it hasn't trained for long enough, the situation ongoing in the battle hasn't really changed its move. So it's doing the same move over and over again. Yep, still again gonna choose to use Surf. Okay, shape of past values is 5 by 283. Indices imply 5 by 422. Okay, so that's the issue. But on So it seems like maybe it's... Well, it can't be this. That would not be the problem. Just using label encoders transform. Switch selection DF. Columns is equal to switch selection C for C in label encoder species dot classes. Data equals to categorical. Let's add this num classes, because num classes can help. Like, sometimes that's the issue. Okay, let's see if that helped. Okay, here's our battle again. Hidden Power Ice. It actually chose a good move! Wow! It actually chose a good move. It used Earth Power. A super effective move. Was it coincidence? Maybe. But it actually chose a good move. And it's going to use Earth Power again, which is also super effective. Okay, that time it switched was fine. So yeah, I think maybe the... Okay, so it used Healing Wish, which wasn't a great idea, but it switched into a fire type. And it used Will-O-Wisp on me. Maybe it could have predicted I was gonna switch. That I'm probably seeing too much in it, right? Like, I'm probably thinking it's much better than it actually is. But if you knew your opponent was gonna switch, going for the burn makes sense. Oh, it used Will-O-Wisp again. Alright, never mind. It used Will-O-Wisp multiple times, even though I'm already burned. Okay, but some of it seemed somewhat clever. And I mean, it's using, like, generally attacking moves, so... I know it's gonna use X-Scissor. And this time, it's predicting positive results. Like, it thinks it's gonna win. In fact, here, it's thinking it's gonna win by a decent margin. It's not going to win. Yeah, it definitely needs to train more so it can learn the Pokemon. Because it still is predicting it should use Shadow Ball, but Shadow Ball doesn't affect Audino. Oh, but I can't hit it either. I just have a normal type move. Maybe Shadow Ball was a good idea. I'm just bad at Pokemon. Sucker Punch. Yeah, its predicted scores are getting higher and higher. It thinks it's doing better and better. Oh, okay, now we've run into another issue. One hot encoding selected move. I think it was, oh, we were so close to finishing a whole battle. We were so close. The AI is not great, but, you know, it does something. I think I need to just copy this num classes thing again. I should have just copied it everywhere. Alright, time to play another full game of Pokemon again. Oh, I need to do this. Once we get it working and it plays a full game on its own, we'll connect it to Real Pokemon Showdown, and if you in chat want to play, we will have it play you. So let's see. Dang it. Oh wow, it confused me. I hit myself in confusion too. This Pelipper's gonna wipe out my Dialga. Yeah, I just hit myself in confusion and it wiped. I might lose accidentally to this AI, and it's not because it's good, it's because I'm bad. Okay, as long as it doesn't fail again, we should be good. Right now, this is the only format it supports, by the way, is Gen 5 random battles. We can get it to support other formats, but this was the easiest for us to get working. It's going to use Ice Punch. Okay. It might beat me, and it's just because I'm terrible. Houndoom. Oh, right. Fake out only works on my first turn. I'm good. It's tied up. Like, I'm awful at Pokemon. It's getting more and more confident. It's at like 72. So it thinks it's like one standard deviation above. For alligator, let's use rest. I don't have any heavy attackers anymore. I mean Genesect, but I don't think it's a safe switch. This is just such a slow battle back and forth. Oh, I was frozen. Wow. He really is, yeah. He really is gonna beat me. Genesect. I mean, he's gonna use Ice Punch, which is weak, so I can use Thunderbolt and kill him. It's gonna come down to the last bit. I can, oh, he used spikes again. I can encore him. That was dumb of me. Why did I do on, I guess I can safely switch into Genesect now. He's in Encore, so he has to keep using spikes. Alright. I won. There we go. I can beat an AI, if only barely, and it was terrible. My rating deserves to be so much lower than the minimum 1000. But that's our first AI playable that's like using actual machine learning to play. So let's see about getting it connected to the real internet and playing real people. So let's go back to the documentation. Okay, connecting to Showdown and challenging humans. That's what we want to do. So we need to create a Showdown account for it. So I'm going to move this window off screen so you can't see the account credentials. Let's create an account. I'm gonna log out. Choose name. How about Wolander AI V1?
All right, let's bring that beat back.
How do I register? Join chat or something? Wolander AI V1. Register. Okay. Okay. So I've created an account on Pokemon Showdown for the bot to play. The way that we can do this to have you guys participate, So let me show Pokemon Showdown. Let me go to Pokemon Showdown. You do need to register, but it's kind of weird how you do it. So we go to play online. You can see like the choose name. This is going to be the bot, Vonder AI V1. But there should be, if you go to settings, right around here, there's like a register button. So after you pick a username, then you can hit register and you'll choose a password. So I'm going to get the code set up so that I can send challenges. But once you've got an account set up, like and registered, send your username in chat and I'll send a challenge to it. So I'm going to move the code over so I can enter the username and password. Oh, sorry. There's a button right here to hit register. Like if you create an account and then hit the gear icon and do it. Let me go to interactive mode. And now instead of this, player configuration with Vonder AI V1, super secret password, and then send challenges. All right, I'm gonna challenge you first then. So let's see if this works. See. 112. Okay, and then for server configuration, I need to import Showdown server configuration and tell it to use that one. Okay, let's see if this actually works. I'm going to start it. And so don't start the battle. Don't start the battle until we say, because I want to get it set up so we can watch the battle. Okay, so it's sending you a ladder match. Now what we need to do is go to watch a battle with Vonder AI V1. You can accept the challenge if you want to now. But just like don't do much yet because we want to get it working. I don't know if it sent the challenge. I hope it sent the challenge. It says send challenges, username, and challenge. Alright, I'm gonna try logging out and logging in with like my own account or something. Really? AI? Come on. Can't remember my passwords. Okay, so I've created myself an account, AI_Volander, because I couldn't remember any of my passwords. I'm gonna add some exception handling so we can see if it works or not from our end. And let's try it again, except this time I'm gonna send it to my own account and just see if like it's something weird with the code or what's going on. But after that, I'll send it to you, and like if it works and it gets to a battle, I'm just gonna do the battle, or I'm not gonna do the battle. Okay, so it claims it sent me a challenge. Oh, I got logged out. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything either. This is what it says to do. And just to make sure, let me check. It's not still using the old Pokemon Showdown. It is using Showdown server configuration. Let me test the username and password of the bot and see. So I'm gonna open up an incognito window. Showdown. Maybe I just typed the username and password wrong. Okay, username and password are right. So then why is it not wanting to log in? We can do it where you accept the challenges. That would be something that we could do as well. But like, my worry is that if sending challenges isn't really working, then is the other stuff gonna work either? So manually challenging works. And just for reference, this is just a manual challenge. If we say challenge, then on my other showdown, it shows a challenge. So this is what a challenge looks like, as it'll pop up in like an orange window. So it's hard to miss. All right, so I'm gonna move that one over. I'll do accept challenges. This time, I'm also still, it's just going to be accepting challenges from myself real quick. Now, Volander AI V1 challenge to a Gen 5 random battle. And I'm going to, now that it's waiting, challenge it. Yeah, it's not accepting the challenges. Oh wait, it shows up in here, but it's not actually playing it. Is this another issue where I'm just misspelling something? And for whatever reason it just wants to fail? Because it's not accepting the challenges. Alright, there's one thing that we can do to diagnose this issue. Let's, instead of doing our simulator player, let's just do a random player real quick that's just going to pick random moves. And see, like, is the issue something we've done with our player object, or is it something else? So I'm going to copy paste the code for a random player. Alright, I'm going to try it again. Okay, it says waiting for ladder match. I'm going to send it another challenge. This would be such an anticlimactic end if just the environment doesn't even work. I manually hit accept just now to see if I could get it to start playing now that it's accepted. But it's still not making a move. Let's see if there's any open issues about it. Otherwise, we're gonna have to dig into the code and try to figure out where is it throwing an error. And I really don't want that to be the case. There must be something I'm missing about usernames or passwords about creating this, because everybody else is saying that it works. AI V1. I wonder if it needs to be like all lowercase for some reason. Let's see if that even references the same account. Okay, that account is still registered. If my password is also in all lowercase for some reason. Okay, no, the password doesn't exist in all lowercase. Maybe the username needs to be in all lowercase? I can't even tell if it's like properly logging in or not. Let's try it again. This time the username that it's going to submit is going to be in all lowercase. Okay, so now it's supposed to accept challenges from me. That's localhost. So for Volander, like, it's a, it's like kind of the original form of what my real life last name is from the language it's sourced from. I'll leave it as an exercise for the reader if you can figure out what my actual last name is. But, or maybe don't. Maybe don't challenge people to do that. But, okay, this is AI Volander that's logged in right here. This is Volander AI V1. So AI Volander, I need to then find a user and challenge to Gen 5 random battle. Challenge. It shows up immediately over here, but it's just not getting accepted. For reference, like, this is what it's doing, is it's just not doing anything. And I'm not sure why it won't accept. I guess, so there's one last thing that we can do. We can try to do ladder matches and see if it will challenge the ladder. So that's just play anybody, because maybe it's just unable to log in. Maybe it's getting blocked, and I need to find some way of it not being blocked. So like here, if I just watch a battle, all Gen 5 random battle, searching for Volander. Okay. Now it's gonna try to do a ladder match. Oop, I had a typo. And now I'm gonna try it again. I think it's an authentication issue. I think it has to be, because it's not doing anything on the server. Let's set like the log level, because maybe it'll log like some sort of failure. Oh, right. Log level 0 makes it not do anything. Log level 10. I always forget how log levels work in Python. they're not exactly clear. Okay, here we go. It just gave a huge amount of information. So it said player initialization, starting listening to Showdown, info, sending authentication request, searching, games null, trying to log in as Volunteer AIV1, Showdown returned Volunteer AIV1. Okay, so there was a warning, but I don't think that's the actual issue. Okay, it's searching for a Gen 5 random battle. Oh! Okay. It actually did a Gen 5 random battle. But it's not doing anything. Oh, now it's doing something. Now we're watching it. Okay, so it just decided to, It's working on doing a ladder match. I'm gonna go ahead and forfeit this battle real quick. Or actually, that didn't forfeit the battle. That just I'm gonna close out of it and quit because whatever. It's gonna time out. I feel sorry for that guy. Maybe we can, if we still have it open somewhere. Forfeit. I should have forfeited first. Oh well. Toxic behavior. Just stalling. That's a good way of advertising the channel. I'll go and forfeit. Come on. I forfeited that battle. Just went ahead and did it. Okay. So that ladder match worked. Now let's see if what happens whenever we do a send challenge. So I'm gonna do accept challenges from anybody right now. And see what happens this time in the log. Okay, so it says it's logged in and it's waiting for challenges. Now, if I go home, watch Volunteer AIV1 and send a challenge with Gen 5 random battle and challenge. Now it's working. It's working now. Awesome. Okay. So let's so I'm gonna forfeit. Awesome. So in that case, let's do the challenges. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and run this code again. And now you send it a challenge. The username to send a challenge to. Oh wait, sorry, this never mind. I need to switch it back to the simulator player. I don't know what I changed, by the way. I have no idea what worked. Alright, I've swapped it out, and now the username to send a challenge to is, like, go to find user and search for Volander AI V1. And you're gonna open, and you're gonna hit challenge. And you need to send a Gen 5 random battle. And whenever you're ready, hit challenge. We'll know as soon as you've sent the challenge because it'll show up here. Right now, it's set to just accept challenges from anybody. Okay, we got the challenge. So now I'm gonna watch a battle. All right, hang on. We're full screening this. I gotta pause the music, and I gotta unmute this. We finally have it working. So it works now, and you can choose moves. Feel free to do whatever. It, just so you know, it still seems to be the same kind of thing where it picks the same move every time. It tried to use a super effective move just now. That's great. Like, it chose a move that made sense. Oh no, it's stupid. It doesn't understand type matchups yet. Okay, it's like it's not absolutely terrible. It understands some tactics, like using Volt Switch a bunch. Unfortunately, I think it's just gonna get too greedy. Okay. And so that's the AI. It managed to take 2 of your Pokemon. I'm pretty sure. It also was not great. It it failed pretty miserably at some of the things, like it doesn't understand type matchups. But all in all, I'd say that was a success. It works. It makes decisions off the battles, and in the meantime, while we've been playing around with all this stuff, getting it working, we've got 50, so 5 million turns of battles we can train it on. This has just been trained on 600,000. So we have almost 10 times as much data to train it on, and this training data is just increasing more and more. Yeah, like I think it gets it a little bit, but one thing to note is we didn't program it to understand type. None of the columns that it's using are the type of the moves or the types of the Pokemon. It's only IDs associated with the Pokemon and IDs associated with the moves. So it doesn't see electric type and flying type on the opponent. It just has to learn what Pokemon are kind of what and what works against them. So it's doing that from not even checking types. So that's really good that it's doing that. So okay, so there's one battle, and so it finished up running that. So I'll open it up for challenges again. So if what is a Pogger, if you want to try out battling it, I'm gonna go ahead and change my stream title real quick, just because gotta play the game. Defeat the world's worst Pokemon AI. Is there a category for Showdown? There's a category for Pokemon Showdown. I'm gonna switch categories to Pokemon Showdown. Okay, I've switched categories. It's now come defeat the world's worst Pokemon AI. And we're in the Pokemon Showdown category. Yeah, it should be ready. If you just go to find a user, Volander AI V1, and hit challenge, you can then send a Gen 5 random battle challenge. And it should be ready. It's just waiting for battles. So whenever you want to send a challenge, feel free. Okay, I see that you sent a challenge. I'm going to go to the watch. There we go. It's working, so battle whenever you want. I don't know why it's choosing to do the things that it's choosing to do. Maybe it's going easy on you, but it's playing mind games right now. It really can't decide what it wants to do. Oh, it's finally gonna do it. It's finally gonna choose to use a move. Yeah, in this case, I think since the situations were so similar and the model has been trained for so little, the differences between switching back and forth were so little that it just kept predicting the same thing over and over and over again. Because there is no randomness in this AI. Its prediction is its prediction, so it'll always choose, in its mind, the best decision. Oh, setting up reflect. Is it setting up to be defensive? Nope, it's just gonna keep spamming reflect. It's playing the long game. Oh, reflect finally wore off. So it's gonna use it again. Oh, the greed. It's trying to sweep you. Oh, the lucky burn. I mean, it's scald, so that has a high chance of burning. Okay, yeah, the battle worked out. It like it clearly needs lots more training time, but since the framework works now, all that means is just swapping out the model file for something else. So I think I'm going to try to battle against it now. And see how I fare, and if it'll get any luckier. I'll minimize the log, though, so I'm not cheating. That way it won't be cheating for me to see what it's about to do. But yeah, so by next Tuesday, that's where we're going to be. Like, I'll try to train the model as much as I can before next Tuesday. But next Tuesday, that's when we'll start having it learn from these real battles, because this is where it could potentially get more information about how it's doing. Okay, so let's fight and see if I'm again almost worse than this AI. Oh no, it's happening again. It's happening again. Okay, it didn't switch this time. Okay, so it just switched out to Kabbalion. Is it going to switch again, or is it going to attack? Oh, it attacked that time. It's just going to go for another close combat. So maybe I'll heal? Yeah, because I can just safely heal basically back up to full. No worries here. And then I can Aura Sphere. Okay, what's it gonna do? Gorbis. Okay, so, I don't even really have to switch, do I? I don't know what it's gonna use, though. So I think it's safer to stay in. Yeah, I was about to switch to Torterra. That would have been an awful move. But I had a feeling that it was going to use something like Ice Beam, because Ice Beam's a really popular move, so I felt like maybe it was going to use just like a really popular move. Okay, Genesect. Again, it's using Genesect. It's probably like Choice Band or like Choice Scarf or whatever the relevant one is. Genesect. So it's gonna use Flamethrower again no matter what. He hits first. I can switch to B-Barrel or Fume and tank it, no problem. Let's use Scald. Oh, he switched up moves that time. So it finally, for once, it didn't use the exact same move. It actually switched what move it was going to use. Let's switch while I can, just so I'm in a kind of healthier Pokemon for the last one. Hidden Power Ice. And that'll be the game. Or maybe not. Oh, critical hit. So it won. Okay. I only lost one Pokemon. But other than that, it worked out. And that's relatively perfect timing. We got to a model that actually trains and can play Pokemon within, 5 hours of doing this. We went from just having the data to having a model and having the framework and playing a bunch of games. I was a little bit worried there at the end. To be honest, I was pretty worried that it was just not going to work and we weren't going to be able to challenge people. And I was cursing myself for not testing that before. But I think now it's a good time to stop. I'll before I personally go to bed, just because it's past midnight here, I'll get the model training on more of the data. And by next Tuesday, hopefully we'll have something that's a little bit more of a competent, challenging fighter. So I think that's it for today. It was a really good stream, and I'm really looking forward to kind of finalizing this project as we get the model training better and better over time, and then using it in the Nuzlocke to beat the Nuzlocke. So I think that's it from me. Thanks everybody for watching. It was really good. See you next Tuesday, and I'll upload another YouTube video over the weekend as well. So see you then. Bye.
Legends of Dungeons. Have I seen? I've seen this. I definitely seen this at some point. At least I think so. Is the pixel art your like internal work in your team? This looks really cool. I think I've seen this somewhere, but I can't really like put. And you even have like the VR. Nice. This one looks cool. It's a pretty old game. I use the index, but it will work with anything that works with Steam VR. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried, like, myself to get into the VR, because maybe like at some point I would like to redo Artificial into VR, like redesign it so it works with VR and everything. And I'm really worried that, you know, I'm gonna need to get like 4 headsets and test it just on everything, or like to make sure that everything's user friendly and everything works nicely. Tiny plumbers.
Hey, I'm Tony, owner and founder of Tiny Plumbers Incorporated. You got a
Nice.
problem like with princesses stuck in your tubes? You got blocks falling on your
I love the
head,
pixel art.
blood
It's
all
great.
over you from those lousy little snails? Monsters again. No job is too tiny. Boy, I never seen
What a
anything
trip. And then you're working on the in this stuff. Noise. Yeah, you can see this is like very focused on the player editor and like interaction with the stuff that other people in the community create. Super Tony Land. Looks cool. Fingers crossed. Legend, and this is Legend of Dungeon, you say. Is there beat 'em up roguelike? Is this gonna get me to Steam? No, I can like buy the physical copy